Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game So today I got a very fun and very exciting episode for you guys this evening because the last time we talked about the Mortal Kombat II 3DO port from 3DO HD, everyone was absolutely excited to see it. It was a fun time to talk about, but this is basically the final version of the game directly for release. There's been a ton of features added to it, a ton of bug fixes included, and a ton of Easter eggs, especially if you're a 3DO fan. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell. Definitely helps us out. If you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. And I remember last time I covered this game, I said it was going to be the best port of Mortal Kombat 2 ever made, and the 3DO was going to win, and that seemed to upset a few people. So I'm here to apologize and say this is the best port of Mortal Kombat 2 ever made, and the 3DO wins. All jokes aside, it seems like there's a certain subset of retro gamers out there that if you say anything positive about the 3DO, they just have to absolutely argue with you in the comments saying the 3DO sucks and the console is a failure. It definitely didn't win its console generation, but there's so much fun to be had on the system, and now with 3DO HD's port of Mortal Kombat 2, we have even more. And honestly, from start to finish, the feature set, the options menu, all of the different Easter eggs included in here, the new babalities and friendships, and just the overall impressive nature of this port, it is absolutely insane that this is running on 3DO, because if you think about all of the other Mortal Kombat 2 ports, they always had some sort of issue, where here I struggle to find anything as far as the game is concerned to be a knock against it, and anything that has a friendship that is a reference to a very famous 3DO game has to be a win for me. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties made it into this game, and it's just a little nod to some of the absolute shovelware that was on the 3DO. But honestly, just take a look at this port. The fluidity and all of the sprites taken from the arcade version of the game, all of the parallax scrolling in the backgrounds, the shadows, everything else, this just looks absolutely stunning. And I honestly think had this game actually been ported to 3DO back in the day like it was supposed to, it wouldn't be this impressive. 3DO HD has just absolutely gotten the most out of the 3DO hardware with a lot of research and help from basically the entirety of the 3DO Discord, because there's a lot of people on there that have spent a lot of time researching the hardware, making modern tool sets, getting all the documents from the software development kit, and just basically doing everything they can to keep this system alive, kind of like what I do on the 3DO M2 side of things. And I admit I am biased, I do love myself some 3DO hardware, and I've got a quite large collection, but I always tell you guys the truth, this port is just absolutely stellar. All of the controls are here, all of the actual fatalities are included, and a lot of the babalities and friendships again are going to be custom for the 3DO version of the game. I'm only going to show you a few of them. I don't want to spoil everything, but honestly what is here is hilarious, and if you know what game that sprite is from, leave me a comment down below. I will give you a spoiler. It's my favorite 3DO game of all time, and it is a top 10 game for me any day of the week and twice on Sundays. As we move a little bit further in, you'll see that there are different fatalities for every single character, just like there would be in the arcade version of the game. Honestly, this is going to stand toe-to-toe with even that PCB, getting very close. When you combine all of the different 3DO specific Easter eggs inside of it, you just have an incredible experience you're going to be able to check out. Now, if you do want to play this, I will let you know it obviously runs on real hardware. I tested it off screen on my 3DO FC1 with an optical disc emulator in on my PVM when it ran great, but for capture purposes, and to tell you can enjoy this even if you don't own a 3DO, I'm using Opera, the 3DO emulator inside of RetroArch to capture all of this footage so I can get the best signal out. But this game absolutely looks stunning on S-Video via an FC1 because the 3DO always had incredible image quality. So if you do own original hardware, when this is available, you can pop it on an optical disc emulator, you can burn it to a disc, and you can kind of do whatever you want with it. But this is available for anyone to enjoy. You can load it up on RetroArch, pop it onto your Steam Deck, any of your other emulation boxes, and have fun with it. And that's why I wanted to capture it this way, because I know that as far as my commenters are concerned, not everyone out there owns a 3DO, even if I think it should be underneath everyone's television. As we move a little bit further on, the backgrounds here are spectacular. The colorways, the parallax scrolling, if you just took a screenshot of this, you could kind of be confused to thinking this was actually the arcade version, and that's a testament to just how well 3DO HD has done in the development. Let's do the first of two sound samples, because of course the 3DO had great audio quality, and we're dealing with a disc image, not an arcade ROM, so compression obviously isn't a factor. Listen and tell me what you think in the comments about the sound quality. I'll be right back with more gameplay.
Round one, fight!
I mean, Mortal Kombat 2 always had an incredible soundtrack in the arcades, and it sounds spectacular coming out of the 3DO hardware or even emulation in this instance. And again, I love just how lovingly all of the backgrounds have been recreated on 3DO hardware. You have all of the parallax scrolling, you have all of those tiny little background layers which aren't probably sprites cheering in the background. You have everything that you would see in the arcade version, and the color rendition here is amazing. But the reality is, if this didn't control well and if the moveset wasn't complete, it wouldn't be the same enjoyable experience, and it really wouldn't make a difference. The good news is this is just Mortal Kombat 2. If you've ever played the game before, you can just pick up a controller and play it like you just actually were using the arcade board as far as the inputs are concerned. And the nice thing is, if you are on software emulation like I am here, you can use an arcade stick and just bind it to a 6-button 3DO controller. And as far as the options are concerned, you can basically do whatever you want. You can have the timer on or off, blood on or off. You can change the CPU level, give yourself a handicap, change the rounds that you're actually fighting into 1 to 3, have all sort of asynchronous morphs and alternate joypads as well. So honestly, 3DO HD has thought of every single modifier you could have here as far as the arcade version of the game is concerned. And you can just make this your own actual Mortal Kombat 2 experience however you want to play it. I did dial it down to easy just so I could get to the end of the game because I am not the best Mortal Kombat 2 player in the world. I've always enjoyed the game, but honestly, compared to something like King of Fighters, it's just not something that I am incredible at. So if you think that maybe some of the gameplay is a little weak here, that's probably because it is. But I love this background specifically from the arcade version. All of the parallax in the actual platforms you're fighting on, and you see the two characters in the background. Now again, basically all of the secrets that would be in Mortal Kombat 2 are going to come across here, but a lot of them are going to be converted to have some sort of 3DO theming going on. And again, I'm only showing you a few of them because I want you to get that sense of discovery when you play this game. It's going to be the same as it was back in the 90s, but you're going to be seeing a lot of new things. Just kind of hopping around, taking a look at Baraka's animations here. I love how fluid all of the sprites are and how they have all the frames of animation, because obviously a lot of the ports of this game had cut down sprites. They were either made smaller or made smaller with animation frames removed. So getting the full fat sprites here with all their frames of animation just is absolutely outstanding. And think of it this way, one developer in their spare time decided to port Mortal Kombat 2 to 3DO and it looks this good with the help of just a few people from the 3DO Discord. I don't think a professional team of developers that were working back in the 90s could have done this good of a job, and it is thanks to a lot of people that have basically again kept all of this knowledge available for everyone, developed new modern tools, and basically made sure that everyone, if they want to, knows how to develop for the 3DO, and that 100% matters. It keeps the hardware alive, it keeps it popular in fans' imaginations. It just shows that maybe back in the day 3DO had a lot more horsepower. Not many developers are actually able or willing to tap it. We see the same thing with Nintendo 64 and even PlayStation 1 today, fans making games that would have been considered impossible back in the day. But again, this is just a straight up 11 out of 10, and in my opinion, the best port of Mortal Kombat 2 to ever exist. But one more soundtrack sample because I love the music, but come back and we'll talk about who made this game. Enjoy.
Round 1. Fight! Johnny Cage wins.
Again, the audio quality here is just outstanding, and that's exactly what you'd expect out of 3DO because it always had great sound hardware. And you'll see here against Shao Kahn, you can play the game from start to finish with every single character all the way through the arcade tournament ladder and see the credits scroll and see everyone's ending story. So this is just 100% complete, and as soon as it's available, I will change the link in the video down below to insert link here to actually have the game available for you. But you'll see Johnny Cage is emerged victorious. Shao Kahn's going to explode here, and I love how he goes through every single stage as he actually turns into stone and explodes into like 10-15 pieces. It is just absolutely iconic as far as arcade fighting games are concerned, and now here today on 3DO, in my honest opinion, it is the best port of the game. And if that somehow upsets you for me saying that, just remember everything is subjective. You don't have to agree with me, but you also don't have to get mad at me when you don't think the same way. And Trap Exit here was involved as well. He keeps a lot of the knowledge as far as development is concerned in a repository, but you get created an entirely new credit sequence that basically shows everyone who works on 3DO, did quality assurance testing, and basically made this game a reality. And honestly, this is something that the 3DO doesn't really see much of. We've had a few fan games in the past, but honestly, it isn't the biggest developer base. But if anyone ever wants to work on it, you can just ask me in the comments below and I can point you to all of the information, because between everyone on the 3DO Discord compiling it for 3DO and me doing it for the 3DO M2, there isn't a piece of 3DO hardware out there in the world that we can't help you develop for if you really want to try something like this. And again, I can't stress enough, there are probably 60 to 80 other Easter eggs that I can show you in this capture, but just basically took out or didn't test because I want you guys to discover them, and I'm definitely going to be playing this in the background and discovering it myself. But short of that, Mortal Kombat 2 has been fully ported over to the 3DO, and again, I just think it's the absolute best version of the game, and just is a testament to how good you can make 3DO games look. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.